Hello guys. I saw this video the other day. It's about how XXX rules the hip hop throne. How he stole the hip hop throne, I guess. 48 Laws of Power by Hello Yassine, Law of 28. I forgot what that law is about, but I guess we'll see.
XXXtentacion was
Alright, let's go. The fuck?
XXXtentacion was the definition of making a grand entrance into the rap game. His first song to blow up, Look at Me, was loud. His mugshot with half-dyed dreads went viral. And him being behind bars during his blow-up made everyone want to know what was next. And what was to come was more than they could ever imagine. Law 28 reads, "Enter action with boldness."
Alright. So this is Law 28 interaction with bold. So whatever you do, I guess you gotta be bold, you gotta be brave, fearless, and just go for it, Don't be like don't be a little coward about it.
If you're unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistakes you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires the bold. No one.
That's interesting. Do you guys agree with that? Any action you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. I feel like that's ways you can what you got going on by just being fearless. Because you might, I agree doing shit that you're gonna do and be fearless, yeah. But sometimes you gotta be strategic. You can't just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do whatever, I think that's really risky.
One honors the timid. XXXtentacion was relatively small in stature, around 5'6" in height, slender build, and grew up not saying much. But what he lacked in stature he made up for in boldness, to a degree that has largely been unparalleled ever since. Audacity separates you from the herd. Boldness gives you presence and makes you seem larger than life. The timid fade into the wallpaper. The bold draw attention. And what draws attention draws power. We cannot keep our eyes off the audacious. We cannot wait to see their next bold move. Whether people hated him or loved him, XXXtentacion was the main event. They couldn't keep their eyes off the show. Similar to how another individual in history became known for his boldness, intelligence, and devotion to his cause, but also his periods of ruthlessness. In the year 1533, Russia.
Wait, okay, Russia. I was gonna say, who do you guys think he's gonna compare X with? Because I guess it's somebody Russian. So it's only so much it could be.
To be exact, a 3-year-old Ivan IV was proclaimed the heir of the great Duke of Moscow.
I think if I may not be mistaken, I think that's Ivan the Terrible.
Of Vasily III. His wife Helena, Ivan's mother, was declared regent until the boy was old enough to rule on his own. The aristocratic class, called the boyars, were ecstatic. Ivan's father had been trying to expand his authority into their sphere of influence for years, and now he was dead. His heir was a toddler, and a woman was ruling. This gave them the perfect opportunity to gain control of the state and make the royal family look bad. Helena was aware of this, so she looked to her friend Prince Ivan Obolensky to help her rule, but after 5 years, she died, poisoned by a member of the Shoisky family that was among the
Like some Game of Thrones shit, but I don't see how I guess he's gonna get to it later. I don't see how it relates to X at all, That guy wasn't no king of a country.
boyars. They took control of the government and threw Obolensky in prison. He would eventually starve to death there, and now at 8 years old, Ivan IV was an orphan that was hated. And anybody that showed him any kind of positive interest was either exiled or killed. His existence consisted of roaming the palace with barely any food, tattered clothing, most of the time hiding from the Shoiskys, who treated him terribly when they saw him, even mocking him at times, dressing him up in royal robes with a scepter, seating him on the throne, then removing him and taking all of it away, letting him know this wasn't reality. This boyar named Vorontsov was the only one who was friends with Ivan in the palace, but one day several Shoiskys came in and beat him up, then exiled him from Moscow. Whilst all this was happening, as just a kid mind you, Ivan remained silent. They thought they had broken him, that their plan worked and he was terrified, silent out of fear, so they just chose to ignore him or leave him alone. But now at the age of 13, Ivan asked Prince Andrei Shoisky to come to his room. The prince arrived and was immediately arrested by all the palace guards. Ivan ordered them to have him killed and throw his body to the dogs. The next couple of days, Ivan had all of Andrei's close friends and associates exiled too. They were terrified. It was a bold move of his to make, waiting 5 years that would secure his entire life and ruler as Ivan the Terrible. But even the palace workers were fed up of the harsh treatment they received under the boyars. If the palace workers hadn't sided with him, it could have been over for him, conspiring to plot against the current rulers. Whilst XXXtentacion definitely wasn't a descendant of royalty, he was nearly raised an orphan.
Just that, this dude died at age 20. That's crazy.
He had almost no contact with his father prior to his fame. He said his mother was absent the majority of the time while he was growing up, leaving him with his grandma. And the times he did have memories spending with his mother, he remembers the abuse she suffered at the hands of whatever man she was dating at the time, and neglecting giving him attention. At one point, X was attacking the man in hopes of defending her. He was also expelled from multiple different schools for behavioral issues and a constant feeling of instability, much like the future that was in front of Ivan. Similarly, XXXtentacion spent a lot of his childhood silent, and much like the law reads, he would act boldly. Doubt was never on his mind, nor thought.
I was that kid that didn't say much, but like him not saying much made you want to know what the fuck he was thinking.
I remember when I first watched this shit, I was like, what? I think I was 17. Shit, that shit was a long time ago. Shit was a long time ago, bro.
So I'd be in the cut, and then when I'd say some shit, it'd be some weird shit. Like, I'd say some crazy shit like, oh, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you or some shit. Like, I'll be the kid in the cut to, like, just get off on somebody type shit, and then you wonder why the fuck it happened. So you come to me and you speak to me and want to get the inside of everything. Like, I never really spoke. I always acted. I mean, that was always my problem. I always acted before I thought anything through.
Were you, like, getting in trouble all the time, or you were kind of laying low?
I mean, I spent a year in jail, bro. Like,
this interview was conducted before X really even blew up, and before he went back to jail, which is when Look at Me began to take off, and he would eventually be released on bond while awaiting his trial for a slew of different charges, including gruesome descriptions of abuse on his ex-girlfriend. But despite that,
It's not even the girl he was accused of being. It's the woman who ended up being his baby mother. But that's like post him dying.
something that would cause someone to lay low and not want to cause trouble, Drake had released a record titled KMT with UK rapper Giggs while XXX was still locked up. Fans went crazy on social media, creating mashups, saying that he was copying X's flow, and XXX reacted to it without malice at first. If you use the flow, by all means, it's whatever. It's not that serious. At least reach out to me. Help me out in this situation. And then if you want to run off with the flow, then run off with the flow. But I'm going through a lot right now, so it would have been nice if before that happened to me, for Drake to have reached out to me personally. But he dropped that preview and it sounded a bit like Look at Me, and he could be a huge help in this situation to get me out of jail because I'm facing life. So that's just how I feel. If you're going to take the flow, reach out to me. Help me out and then take the flow, because helping me out would have been more important. Drake then responds in an interview.
People go so far, they reach so far. Like the other day, I dropped the song with Giggs, and I'm seeing all this on my IG under like some random picture of people being like, you took this kid's flow or whatever, right? So I'm just like, yo, what's happening to me right now, you know? So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to read, like, figure out who they're talking about. I find out who they're talking about.
Is this the extension guy?
I don't even think that's how you say his name. But yeah, that's
I tried to practice.
They call him
extension.
X.
XXXtentacion.
So anyway, I go and I find what song they're talking about, And I listen to it. I'm like, okay, I see where people could draw like this comparison off of like the first two lines, whether it be the cadence or the rhyme pattern, whatever, And I'm just like, yo, it's crazy that people think that after all this time, after all I've been through, that I'm the type of person to go pre some song that's on SoundCloud. It doesn't have like 2 plays. It has plays. You know, he has his cult following. And go and think that I'm gonna like take that and make it my own. Like I'm not stupid. I'm not like a person like that. You know.
Looking back, Drake was definitely lying. We've seen him find artists or catch the wave when they were tiny. So there was no way he didn't have any idea of who the new hot rapper was at the time, and this sent XXXtentacion over the edge, considering he received
I see him go Ivan the Terrible and start slaying people and cutting off heads and killing everybody.
first-hand information that Drake knew who he was and heard the song. He went ballistic through a series of tweets, going at the biggest rapper in the game, which nobody else was doing, and definitely way too scared to do at XXXtentacion's relatively small level of fame even amongst C or D tier rappers. I'm not gonna say no names, but it's funny how one of my guys hit me up saying, Drake watched your interview and F with you. Now this pussy dude trying to play it safe and play it innocent. But it's cool, we all know Hotline Bling was a bite of cha-cha. I'm not the first dude he bit, nor will I be the last. Drake a pussy, money don't buy you respect. Drake's career is almost over. He better start investing money into real estate, cause once it's all over...
See how far that age, because Drake is still the top hip-hop artist out right now. What is this, about 7 years later?
He really gonna see the fake love. This one particularly had me laughing while I was compiling it, since Drake is at the peak of his popularity now, with the career end nowhere in sight. But to be fair, plenty of people thought Drake would fall off in 2017. Drake mom kinda cute. She could get it. XXXtentacion only starting stuff with Drake so he can get publicity to his name. Truth! And it's working too. Keep in mind that while this is happening, XXX had no record deal. I don't even think he had an actual major distribution deal yet. He had no album out. He had no mixtape out. The closest thing he had to an actual project was this 4-song mini EP, It Wasn't Enough, that only had 1 solo track. This was career suicide from the eyes of any other artist. People were still considering him a one-hit wonder at this point, or some even considering him a gimmick rapper, some haters, with Look At Me, and just expected him to continue making that type of music. He would go too far to some when he changed his profile picture to a photoshopped edit of XXX with Drake's mom hugging him that was likely fan-made, but XXX fans just became more and more invested and supportive. They wanted to see their underdog win, and he wasn't scared to go against the top dog in the game. Then XXX decided to come at the Migos, another massive group at the time, albeit being fair, they came at him first. Offset got upset by the fact that X dissed Drake.
You niggas is silly, you know what I'm saying, in all lives, nigga. Y'all niggas is silly. How you ain't heard of it? Nigga talking you stole they swag. You ain't even heard you, Sean.
Then XXX replies.
Hey man, tell this pussy nigga Offset get off a nigga dick, man. Fuck you on your nigga dick for, man. Yo, man, always on somebody dick, man. Shut your pussy ass up, man. Niggas like 35 still trying to catch the wave. Nigga, your career over, man. Shut that pussy ass shit up. You riding dick. Niggas been riding dick. Straight riding dick. Quavo the best rapper in Migos. The rest of y'all niggas are irrelevant. Hey, matter of fact, no, take off straight. Take off straight. Them niggas don't be talking shit. Offset be talking shit. I don't know how they... Fuck Offset, nigga. Pantsy ass, ballerina ass, nigga. Fuck wrong. Fuck. Slippery. Niggas just riding a dick. Excuse me. I don't shoot, but I box, bitch. What's up?
This guy just went from beefing with Drake to beefing with the biggest rap group in the game. This is 2017. They were still riding high off Culture One. Slappers all throughout that album. But he didn't care. Everything quiets down for a while until one day XXXtentacion hops on IG Live.
Before you hear from anybody else...
That's the hair color, right? One was like in March or April, and the other was all the way like in October or some shit. Or September. You know? I don't know. During that time, it felt like forever. You know?
Else, nigga, I got jumped in LA by some pussy ass niggas, and they jumped me, nigga. Nobody gave me the faith of a one-on-one, nigga. Nobody gave me the respect of a one-on-one, and I painted that nigga when he was on the ground. Just to let y'all know why they jumped me. Pussy ass niggas. Amigos, straight up. Look at this shit. Y'all niggas had the chance to kill me. How you had fire and ain't shoot me? After all this shit I've been talking, how the fuck you ain't shoot me? Y'all niggas pussy as fuck. Amigos just gave me free clout. Free clout. Free clout. Free clout.
Hey, y'all pussy niggas know I'm finna use y'all name all day, right? Hey, DJ Academics, man, cover this shit, man. Let these niggas know these 45, 35-year-old ass niggas jump me, man. Cause you niggas was too scared to fade me one-on-one. Y'all niggas pussy as fuck. Pussy ass niggas. Oh, hey, one more thing though. Just so y'all know, them pussy niggas ain't touch me.
Even after getting jumped, he didn't waver in his boldness. He matched it with more audacity, capitalizing on the situation, doubling down harder, and going more viral in the process. There was the artistic boldness as well though. XXXtentacion releases his first album, highly anticipated, with the biggest song to date being Look At Me, and fans wondering if he was going to bring this energy on 17. But he didn't. He released an album that showed he had a different side to his music. Reflection, depth, and way different sound. That's now over 3 times platinum with 4 songs that have over 1 billion streams that sounded nothing like Look At Me. This could have completely backfired. And if he had been signed to a major record label and not independent, he likely would have been urged to make hype music similar in sound to the hit that put him on the map. However, he was in control of his creativity and what he put out. He believed in 17 so much, with no hesitation, that it succeeded beyond belief, with even Kendrick Lamar tweeting the album and showing support for it whilst he was receiving almost no promotion from major outlets or streaming platforms. During a tumultuous time in his life when he was fighting for his freedom, he made a generational album for the age group that was so obsessed with him as a figurehead. The reversal reads, boldness should never be the strategy behind all of your actions. It's a tactical instrument, to be used at the right moment. Plan and think ahead, and make the final element the bold move that will bring you success.
See, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, you gotta be strategic with being bold. You can't just be crazily bold all the time, because you're gonna end up getting killed, you know, or you're gonna end up killing yourself by in game, I guess.
Success. In other words, since boldness is a learned response, it is also one that you learn to control and utilize at will. To go through life armed only with audacity would be tiring and also fatal. You would offend too many people, as is proven by those who cannot control their boldness. Ivan the Terrible suffered the same fate. When the power of boldness brought him success, he stuck to it, to the point where it became a lifelong pattern of violence and sadism. He lost the ability to tell when boldness was appropriate and when it was not. Timidity has no place in the realm of power. You will often benefit, however, by being able to feign it. At that point, of course, it's no longer timidity but an offensive weapon. You are luring people in with your show of shyness, all the better to pounce on them boldly later. Unfortunately, XXXtentacion suffered the same fate. Boldness followed him throughout his entire life, in both his professional and personal life. There was one case when he was outside and someone had a firearm and he urged him to shoot him, even pointing at his head. He survived here, but this boldness carried to the point that when he was approached by 3 armed men who were robbing him for a Louis Vuitton bag and $50,000 cash in it that he had withdrawn to buy a motorcycle. There have been people saying that he resisted the robbery and refused to give up the cash. That's why they shot him in the neck, killing him. And that type of boldness had his life cut short early. He could have feigned timidity and handed the cash over, or even prior to this, he could have rolled around with a real security detail that he most certainly could have afforded. But XXXtentacion's boldness and desire to be close to the people, his fans, and just like anyone else, despite being famous and a target, he chose to continue being bold because it only paid off up until that point. But it paid off until, sadly, the one time it didn't.
That shit fucked me up when I heard about that. When I was like, was I 18? I was 18 when he died. Yeah, that shit fucked me up. That shit fucked me up, bro. Fucked me up. This is my favorite rapper too back then. Yeah. I got another video. But they comparing him to Playboy Cardi. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with that because I don't know. I didn't see this video, so you about to say? See?
Getting into the legendary rappers.
The fun topic, yes. Yes.
All right.
So who that has died do you think would have fell off by now? That people, I wouldn't say gas, but that people admire and enjoy very much and say they would have been superstars.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes into the question of like, all of these, when a rapper dies, right? People are willy-nilly with this legend coined term on them. And I agree that maybe not all of them deserve that. But I do think Juice WRLD would still be around and he would still be killing it. I just think that he was so talented. But with that being said, with all of the drugs and everything that he was doing that was like keeping him, like he says in his songs, like the drugs are the reason he's here. They're
Well, I'm talking about Juice WRLD. This is an XXX video, bro.
the reason that he died too. So like, is it even possible for him to, I've heard stories like behind the scenes that he's hitting like 57 to 70. Juice WRLD was 200 easy with Death Race for Love. And the whole is kind of like, and especially this niche is maybe smaller than it was before, which is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
We have Yeet, but like Yeet's the new up and comer, but he's hitting like 57 to 70. Juice WRLD was 200 easy with Death Race for Love. And then we had X and all this. So what was the question? Who would
where do you think, so
where would he be?
Juice WRLD specifically, yeah.
Juice
you
WRLD,
said Juice WRLD out of all of these people.
I mean, you see Kid Laroi right now, right? He's doing pretty good, right? But Juice also has like, he has that white boy, white girl audience.
I think Kid Laroi has that more.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I think Juice WRLD would be held back because he wasn't a white guy in that realm.
Most of Juice WRLD's fans were white people, though. At least in America. You know, when you go to their concerts and shit, majority of faces you was gonna see is white people.
Realm, yes.
Oh, this nigga's up.
I think that.
Like, do you think?
I think
that
he'd have an advantage, though.
Do you think that a black person that was making the music Post Malone was making, with all those face tattoos, would become as famous as Post Malone?
Yeah.
I think people see black people as like a.
Lil Wayne, I know he wasn't making music like Post Malone, but like he was really big, right, during this time. I think, and not just in a hip hop world, but like in a mainstream world.
Spectacle in general.
Not
Yeah, but I'm saying the level of fame.
I think they have a higher threshold. I mean, look at.
I don't think so, dude.
Look at all of the biggest artists in the world. Who's the top selling artist? Drake. Yeah, he's light skinned, which I do think that like
that helps him so much.
Being half white, yeah, it like broadens the appeal.
Eminem, some Korean acts, Miley Cyrus, like we're just gonna list off. We're just
niggas is saying this dude's racist and shit. It was like bro sounding racist as hell. He obviously likes white artists more. I mean, yeah, he was. I think he had high percentage, and I think Juice WRLD's initial rise had a lot to do with the fact X died. No, I'm not saying this. It is connected because he died early on in Juice WRLD's rise. I think a lot of people who were X fans moved to Juice WRLD because X had died. I really believe that. But Juice WRLD was definitely talented. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, you see, yeah, it's the same voice as the other dude, right? Yeah, but I don't believe. Okay. So he just moved.
Michael Jackson, he was black, but like went white, basically.
Yeah, but Michael Jackson.
Prince.
Dude, you're telling me that like Prince is like Prince was a star, but I'm talking like in the past 20 years, dude. Like I could name so many white artists.
But what's the most
Perry.
popular genre? Hip hop. Now that might be declining, whatever. Out of that conversation.
Sure.
But like, there's a reason. It's just like NBA.
And Post Malone became the biggest guy out of
People, I truly think.
And Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow has the biggest hit right now. Jack Harlow has a #1 hit.
I think
like let that sink in.
I think that's because he's like the white sheep in rap. So like
yeah, but he kind of left rap.
But so all white people in rap, all the white fans like gravitate towards. It's like Yeet, or I'm not trying to retract from any of their like value or their song.
Like if I open up the Hot 100, see, this is crazy.
I mean, I get what your point is, but regardless, so.
But Juice WRLD. So where do you think Juice WRLD would be?
Yeah, let's get back to the topic.
I think Juice WRLD would be bigger than the Kid Laroi.
The Kid Laroi, basically, he's not lit no more.
Juice WRLD, like how he literally used the death of Juice WRLD. I'm not saying that it fucked him up, but he used that to push him, and then he ended up working with Justin Bieber, and then used that to also propel him.
Like he's big in terms of famous, but like what did his last album do? And it was a great album.
But what did Jack Harlow's album do? Like I don't.
Yeah, but Jack Harlow's got a #1. Kid Laroi doesn't have a single hit off this album.
He has though. But anyway, maybe that wasn't a good comparison. Like Juice WRLD would be bigger than Uzi right now.
Lovin' on Me, that's the Jack Harlow song.
Okay. I think he'd be bigger than Uzi right now.
I agree.
Maybe not. Honestly, he was bigger than.
I think because Uzi be taking forever, but yeah, it's possible. Because yeah, he was already like competing with him.
Uzi already.
He was already bigger than Uzi.
Yeah. So yeah, he'd be bigger than Uzi. Although he wouldn't have like fallen back. He might have like plateaued a little bit.
Dude,
but
do you think people?
But he was going into like EDM with like Halsey and whatever.
Dude, I don't think that was gonna last very long. Cause he had one. Okay, we can't like project that, right? But if he kept making the same music that he did on the first 2 albums for the next 6 years, or no, when did he pass away?
2019.
Okay, for the next 5 years, I think, because that whole style of music has gone.
Right, but
because like Ian Dior, they basically just
Versatile. I'm tired of us talking about this dude. When the title says XXX would be Playboy Cardi on steroids. Playboy Cardi is from that era too, so it's really possible. And I feel like Juice WRLD and X is way more versatile than Playboy Cardi.
took Juice WRLD swag.
That's because he was
and
gone.
Worked. No, but I think the style of music dies out regardless.
But Juice
WRLD swag.
That's because he was
and it
gone.
Worked. No, but
2019.
Okay, for the next 5 years, I think, because that whole style of music has gone.
Right, but
because like
because
Ian Dior, they basically just took Juice WRLD swag.
That's because he was
and it
gone.
Worked. No, but I think the style of music dies out regardless.
But Juice WRLD had the personality too. Like people just loved him. He was just a great guy. Like at least from what I've seen, take out all the drugs.
Yeah, but I mean Post Malone's a great guy too.
Yeah, but he's not like that.
Well, like Post Malone's like a generational superstar, so.
Right.
I mean, Rod Wave is doing these depression type music right now, and he's popular. So I'm pretty sure Juice WRLD still had his lane, and Juice WRLD was already a star. Like I don't know. I don't even if the genre itself died, I think he would have continued and was versatile enough to do a different style.
We can agree that Juice WRLD was not getting to Post Malone's level, or anywhere close. Dude, Post Malone does not have bad songs. Post Malone doesn't have bad songs.
He doesn't. I don't think Juice WRLD does too.
Nah, he does. He has some whack songs. Death Race for Love has some skips.
Death Race for Love was no skips, bro.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe
I
this.
love Juice WRLD. Now Post Malone, that's like a whole nother level because he has number ones, I think, right?
No, Post Malone is incomparable. Like this is like this generation's. Like people are gonna be listening to Post Malone in 50 years.
Yeah, he's got timeless music. I think Juice WRLD has some. The thing is, I feel like they ruined his legacy by dropping all of like the shit he had in the vault, and so it kind of like dampened like what Juice WRLD was able to do. I think he was the most versatile artist in that generation to be able to like surpass. He already did.
I think X was more versatile. I think Juice WRLD is capable enough. don't think he proved that he was. I don't know. X in the year that he was going crazy, I feel like he was more every eclectic with what he did.
He wanted to pop, like he would have done EDM. He would have figured out a way because he made. Think about it. He had like what 2,000-6,000 songs or whatever. Imagine if he was still alive, how many songs he would have recorded, and how many different people he would have recorded with. Everybody wanted to work with him. Every producer, Travis Barker.
So do you think he would have been bigger than XXX?
See, X was a bigger personality though, but that is hard because he died 2016.
2018.
Did he?
Yeah. Because Juice WRLD made a song about them in 2018.
2018. It was in like what, like
June.
Okay. Yeah. So, X.
Keep in mind, X was basically blackballed and independent. I think he just had a distro deal with like Empire.
Yeah, he was usually getting distribution.
Yeah. But he wasn't, and the thing is, he wasn't doing like crazy first week numbers. He never had like
X would be cardio.
X first, he did like 87 first album, 87,000, and that was big for like his people. And then he did like 131, 132, and the question mark album. Those are big numbers. Like niggas wasn't doing that, like in his era.
On steroids right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Steroids.
Especially. And the thing is, he wasn't doing like crazy first week numbers. He never had like.
X would be Cardi on steroids right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Steroids.
Especially if if X decided to fall back a little bit, it would go crazy.
Yeah.
And he made a bunch of. He released more diverse music than Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
And I think he was willing to do anything, and he was willing to really like, for example, Juice WRLD. I don't think he was willing to take as many risks as X, because Juice WRLD could really rap, but he didn't really like do that very, very much. And I think he wanted to, but I think he just realized like, oh, I should just keep doing this. But X, he had Look At Me, and then he came out with an album that sounded nothing like it in any type of way. So I think he was more willing to risk take. I think X would have been like, not production wise, but like he would have had that type of.
He doesn't
following.
care because also he had like the cult that would follow him whatever he did. Be like, yeah, fuck with that. Like he could have dropped like a bluegrass album.
Yeah, he could have dropped like that Speeding Bullet to Heaven that Kid Cudi dropped, and people still said was heat. Yeah.
But see, that's the whole thing about his personality, where that's where it becomes so important. And same thing with Cardi. Like Cardi could do, but again, X would do to a whole nother level.
Cardi was a lot like this is a character. Like he's putting on a fake persona. It feels so over the top, like I'm a vampire and all. Whereas X, it felt more like how a cult leader would be, like you feel like that's the person. Or even if he is, it's much more in realism, you know, where you can feel like, oh, that's him. It's real. Whereas Cardi is like, it's entertaining, it's a character, and you're there for the vibe and all that shit.
Level, but they can maneuver, and the fans are still fans of them, not just the music. Because X had this whole spiritual element.
But the thing is, so we can agree Lil Peep wasn't really going to go far.
Lil Peep?
I don't think Lil Peep would have got to where Suicide Boys got to.
Bro, I understand Lil Peep's influence in the underground, and like maybe that led to something, but like I don't understand how people say, like he's an underground legend, perhaps.
Sure, underground.
I didn't really know much about him prior to his death.
He's 100% underground legend.
But regarding like mainstream, he actually, when you listen to it, it kind of does have like more. It has somewhat mainstream appeal, right? Because it's like emo rap alternative type, right?
But you got to think, the success that MGK had with that Tickets to My Downfall album.
Yeah, MGK could do it. Yeah, Lil Peep could probably do it. Yeah. And Lil Peep seemed like he had a cult like fan base too, I felt.
If Lil Peep dropped that, it would have went perfect with Lil Peep. So that's where that just came to my mind. So if MGK had that resurgence, that revived his career. It revived his career. The dude started doing like arenas.
Yeah, no. I like that album too.
Nah, that's just fire. Yeah, people hate on me for that. I'm like, yo, that album's great.
Yeah, it's fire. I listened to that shit on repeat back in the day.
Yeah, I would just
as gay as it sounds, but my girl put me onto that shit.
Alright, bro.
Because they love the whole Megan Fox thing.
Yeah,
relationship. But anyway, would Lil Peep get that? But is that huge? But I guess also first week sales, he got like 100K or something like that.
120. But you gotta think,
in that
he
genre,
would have built up to that. MGK just like stepped into that.
Right.
So it would have gone crazier for people.
I can see that. Although I think,
and when he died, I don't even think emo rap had took off.
MGK had like a 100. I mean, he had like at least a 10-year run before you could do what he's doing now. I think. I'm pretty sure. Lil Peep died really early, so.
Off. Like he died before X even really blew up, I think. He died in 2016 or 17.
X was he already dropped his first album when that Lil Peep died. X died like 6-7 months after Lil Peep died. Like it wasn't that long. But X was already bigger than him. So.
He died in 2017, I think. Emo rap peaked like 2018, 19.
There was like a string of just condensed passings. I could see him being like a better MGK that like wasn't corny.
Yeah.
Like he truly lived the rock star lifestyle rather than just getting like black. Did you see MGK's black tattoo? Yeah. Just like it looks like shoulder pads.
Yeah, I did. Like what MGK does outside of music is like what Meek does on social media. I'm just like, man.
What?
I just can't.
He fucks Diddy.
It just messes everything up.
Yeah.
But I think MGK had more of like the showmanship and kind of like the confidence that Lil Peep didn't have, which I think like matters a lot, especially when like performing, being able to kind of take heat. I think Lil Peep was very like scared, shy, like more reserved, which you kind of have to get out of. But okay, so Pop Smoke. I was thinking Pop Smoke was falling off before he died.
Really?
He did not blow up that far before.
Yeah, he just had Dior.
Yeah. But then Drill became a whole thing.
You're right.
Yeah, I also had Welcome to the Party, he had Dior. I think he was on the verge of getting bigger and then he died and then got even way more bigger. But
this is where I changed my mind. Because after Pop Smoke passed away, they dropped the album that was pretty much already ready. And I really liked that album. I was like, oh, this is really
mainstream hits. Had like big songs on
there. Yeah, and it had him doing different styles. Because I thought it was just gonna be the same thing that was on like Meet the Woo and Meet the Woo 2. I was like, people are gonna get tired of this. It's like Fabio Foreign when he first came out. People got tired of it until he like switched it up.
I'm still tired of him. So I never liked him actually.
So if he kept like that.
But would all those people be a part of that album? Would it have been that way if he didn't die? With 50 kind of controlling the album, you know? I don't know.
Kind of trajectory, I think Pop Smoke would have been good.
I think he would have had New York on his back.
But Pop Smoke does have a really, really global audience. Because he was like the face of New Drill.
Right, and then UK would have fucked with him.
Yeah, he would have done stuff over there for sure.
Germany probably.
Because he took like their sound pretty much, their production.
Yeah, I think Pop Smoke would be huge. It is weird that people just like label legend on like people who you never really saw them surmount to their potential.
Yeah, people put legend on, what's his name? Who's the guy that made, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head.
What did he make?
The Cream Soda Fago song. 6 Dogs.
Yes.
Like,
people are saying that?
I like that guy.
Whoa.
I like that guy's music. But legend is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because like, he kind of, no hate, but he kind of like fell off a little bit.
He was just a very if you know, you know artist.
Yeah, like very underground, never really made it out to main. Although he did have a TikTok song, right?
I don't know.
I think so. But yeah, to call someone a legend like that is kind of, I understand where they're coming from, where it could have been, but 6 Dogs, I don't think it would have reached to where people like Juice WRLD, like I understand. X, I understand. Pop Smoke, understand, but even to a lesser degree than X and Juice. Lil Peep, maybe understand.
Yeah.
Underground legend, but
so Pop Smoke would definitely, we can agree Pop Smoke would not have been on X and Juice level in terms of like years past into his career.
I mean, where's Drill at? I'm pretty biased because
in America, Drill is pretty dead. Globally, Drill is the biggest.
But I feel like he kind of brought like this. He almost had like a Ja Rule thing to him, like on the pop songs, kind of. Where like
he kind of 50 Cent really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Similar. Where he had songs that maybe he had this like super like deep raspy masculine voice on like something that was a hit, like could be a mainstream hit. But I think he could. I think he could have gone really far. I don't think he had the same pull as X or Juice though.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like they can make him like a mainstream appeal in terms of like, hey, we're gonna spin radio for this guy.
Yes.
Maybe he won't have the craziest fan base, but everyone listens to him. They play him in the club.
TikTok songs still.
They play him in the club. And they're like 2016.
Trippy's already going down.
Yeah, I think Trippy's just like kind of in his own world.
But so Cardi and Uzi, there's probably some other people that's just my world.
But that's what I'm saying.
That was cool, I guess. Let's see why the music industry feared XXXtentacion.
Our fears, we can move forward stronger and wiser within ourselves. XXXtentacion was unlike something I've ever personally seen in hip hop or any form of music to this day. This guy was an enigma that honestly, when he was bursting onto the scene, the world or the music industry wasn't ready for him at all, being honest. But welcome to the channel where we learn from everybody and everything that we see or hear. So randomly, the other day I saw a video by a channel called XXXtentacion Music, and they had a video titled Why the Music Industry Feared Michael Jackson. And I was scratching my head trying to figure out a good list of musicians that were feared by the
Yo, no post on
Alright. Yo, these ads are fucking pissing me off, bro.
But I loved it, strangely enough. And even more, I just really enjoyed the man's personality and energy. He just was so unfiltered and prolific at times, but really goofy at others. He really helped me with high school and life in general. So for that, I just want to say thanks, X. But to why you guys click this video, XXXtentacion chose that name meaning the unknown temptation, and that he was indeed. You take a look at X's rise to fame, and it was definitely a little unprecedented at the time. I just want to take you through a quick timeline of X's brief but up and down music career. In March 2014, X would upload his first track to SoundCloud titled Vice City. Then in the following year, he creates what would become the very popular and well-known collective Members Only, with Ski Mask the Slump God, of course. But this is where it gets weird and kind of unprecedented. X is dealing with legal woes. Everybody knows this. He's arrested on charges of home invasion and aggravated battery at this time. Then a month later, he uploads Look At Me, and it blows up, like seriously blows up. It gets X a ton of opportunities and accolades, such as Look At Me entering the Billboard Hot 100, and he earns himself a spot in the 2017 XXL's annual freshman class. And did I mention that this guy isn't even 20 yet? Just crazy. While he had a core fan base of listeners over at SoundCloud, the world was hearing Look At Me everywhere and trying to figure out who is this guy taking over the hip-hop landscape. I personally remember this era very vividly. I could not go anywhere without hearing this song, and mind you, at the time, the song didn't even have a video to it, and it was still going this crazy. Utter madness. Then he would drop his first studio album, the album incorporated in this thumbnail titled 17. Honestly, I thought this thing, just an overall great body of work, man. Chef's kiss. Along the way, he would face a ton of backlash after his ex-girlfriend went in depth about her and X's relationship and how X treated her during the end of their relationship. Then X would actually release a video for the overdue track Look At Me and get a ton of hate and attention. And notice that's a common thing in his career history. He would get a bunch of hate for what would happen in the later end of that Look At Me video. This was one of the first instances of where I would say the music industry was sabotaging X. I just remember feeling like it was an absurd amount of hate, and I honestly think some of that was pushed by narratives, by media outlets, and the music industry. Then a month later, X would sign a whopping $6 million deal with Capitol Music Group's Caroline. A year later, X would drop his second album titled Question Mark, or just Question, depends on who you ask. I guess that's the real question. And this would earn him his first ever #1 album. Then that same month in March of 2018, an old video would resurface of X seemingly hitting a girl, which made X look horrible, and to remind you guys, his public image wasn't exactly sparkling at this time. X's lawyer would say that the victim admitted that the video was made in jest, and it was only after she told her grandparents how much money Josh Say was worth that her story changed. It's obvious that she wants money. It's obvious that every single allegation she has made is a complete and utter lie. Again, I don't know if this girl was paid off for slander X or she just wanted personal things, but it just felt like sabotage to me then, and I still have a lot of questions about it to this day. The biggest reason I believe the music industry was afraid of X would be this situation. In 2018, Spotify would remove X's music from its curated playlist. They removed Sad from the Spotify playlist despite being in the Hot 100 top 10 at #7 a month and a half ago. If that's not fear accompanied by sabotage, I'm not entirely sure what is. Not too long after this, X would leave this world in the way we all know about, and still gets me really upset to this day. It's so sad and so unfortunate. I'm sorry it happened to you, X. Just uncalled for. But I made this video to not be negative or sad. I kind of just wanted to talk about one of my favorite artists, and I never really had the opportunity to, because I didn't have this channel when X was doing his thing. But I made this video for people to agree, not agree. It's fine, you know? I feel like X would be cool with whatever reaction to what you guys thought about him, you know? As long as you felt it was justified, you know? But yeah, I made this video to say that I'm not really sure if the music industry really welcomed X, and I get it. He was hit with, you know, domestic allegations, and he was a guy going through changes. I feel like everybody knew that, even if you were it'd be cool if you could say it in the comment section, because we can talk about it, you know, we can get to the root of it, you know, regardless of what it is, right? You know, I'm not mad either way. I'm saying I'm cool either way. I'm fine, I'm content with this video. Or if you guys want to talk about X, you know, we can gush over X, talk about the good times, the great times, you know. I'm always down for that any day of the week. Yeah, we can talk about, you know, how much you love the guy. We can do that anytime. Yeah, so if you made this far into...
I don't know what the fuck the point of this video was. Because he just told me about his career, you know, that's it. So why you care about him? He didn't really say why anyone feared him or not. But yeah, whatever.